Macmillan Audio presents Eleanor and Park, a novel, by Rainbow Rowell. Read for you by Rebecca Lowman and Sunil Malhotra, with me, Rainbow Rowell. For Forrest, Jade, Haven, and Jerry, and everyone else in the back of the truck.
He'd stopped trying to bring her back. She only came back when she felt like it, in dreams and lies and broken down déjà vu. Like, he'd be driving to work and he'd see a girl with red hair standing on the corner, and he'd swear, for half a choking moment, that it was her. Then he'd see that the girl's hair was more blonde than red, and that she was holding a cigarette and wearing a Sex Pistols t-shirt. Eleanor hated the Sex Pistols. Eleanor. Standing behind him until he turned his head, lying next to him just before he woke up, making everyone else seem drabber and flatter and never good enough. Eleanor ruining everything. Eleanor. Gone. He'd stopped trying to bring her back.
August 1986.
Chapter 1. Park. XTC was no good for drowning out the morons at the back of the bus. Park pressed his headphones into his ears. Tomorrow, he was going to bring Skinny Puppy or the Misfits. Or maybe he'd make a special bus tape with as much screaming and wailing on it as possible. He could get back to New Wave in November, after he got his driver's license. His parents had already said Park could have his mom's Impala, and he'd been saving up for a new tape deck. Once he started driving to school, he could listen to whatever he wanted or nothing at all, and he'd get to sleep in an extra 20 minutes. "That doesn't exist," somebody shouted behind him. "It so fucking does," Steve shouted back. "Drunken monkey style, man. It's a real fucking thing. You can kill somebody with it." "You're full of shit. You're full of shit," Steve said. "Park! Hey, Park!" Park heard him, but didn't answer. Sometimes, if you ignored Steve for a minute, he moved on to someone else, knowing that was 80% of surviving with Steve as your neighbor. The other 20% was just keeping your head down. Which Park had momentarily forgotten. A ball of paper hit him in the back of the head. "Those were my human growth and development notes, Dicklick," Tina said. "I'm sorry, baby," Steve said. "I'll teach you all about human growth and development. What do you need to know?" "Teacher drunken monkey style," somebody said. "Park!" Steve shouted. Park pulled down his headphones and turned to the back of the bus. Steve was holding court in the last seat. Even sitting, his head practically touched the roof. Steve always looked like he was surrounded by doll furniture. He'd looked like a grown man since the 7th grade, and that was before he grew a full beard. Slightly before. Sometimes, Park wondered if Steve was with Tina because she made him look even more like a monster. Most of the girls from the flats were small, but Tina couldn't be 5 feet, massive hair included. Once, back in middle school, some guy had tried to give Steve shit about how he better not get Tina pregnant because if he did, his giant babies would kill her. "They'll bust out of her stomach like an alien's," the guy said. Steve broke his little finger on the guy's face. When Park's dad heard, he said, "Somebody needs to teach that Murphy kid how to make a fist." But Park hoped nobody would. The guy who Steve hit couldn't open his eyes for a week. Park tossed Tina her balled-up homework. She caught it. "Park," Steve said. "Tell Mikey about drunken monkey karate." "I don't know anything about it." Park shrugged. "But it exists, right?" "I guess I've heard of it." "There," Steve said. He looked for something to throw at Mike.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?